us.
And why not? Okay.
We're like truly
We are live.
international. We have someone from Durban, South Africa watching us. Hey, Prabodh Kumar, thank you so much. And we're here. Guess what we've been discussing? Do you guys want to share? By the way, happy Karwa Chauth to whoever's celebrating. And who wants to share what we've been discussing right now?
I think we'll leave it for you.
Is it
No, why should I?
Karwa
I'm a
Chauth?
lady. I don't talk about these. Yeah, it's Karwa Chauth.
I believe Karwa Chauth is the national festival of Haryana. So both of you, Haryanvis, Pallavi, Ghosh.
Toka's sisters are going to be joining us soon. They're fasting. So that's why they're taking a little time. Oh, wait. One of the sisters is here. Pallavi, finally an episode where you won't be eating.
Yeah, she's looking very emaciated. Yeah.
Yes.
What bullshit. कुछ भी बोल दो, कुछ भी.
Okay.
But
and all that.
It's a national festival of Haryana, we are told.
Pallavi, did your husband give you a present? Because if he hasn't,
Please, yeah.
No, because the boys here have been discussing something called a bum spa or something. I don't know if you're allowed to even say it on YouTube.
No
And
clarity.
why not?
Baba.
Look at the silence. That's what they were talking about before we went live.
So it's a Japanese spa, Pallavi.
It's a Korean.
No.
Korean,
Oh my God,
Japanese,
you know
whatever.
The best one, somebody said, you know, what's the point of having a bum spa in Japan when Japanese don't eat spicy food? So half the use of it is.
No, but that toilet एक प्रेम कहानी वाला ये that 10 to 12 lakh toilet is missing.
Okay, in case you all are wondering, Sandeep, what is this?
Yeah.
In case you all are wondering, we are discussing the hall from Kejriwal's house. Now, Sandeep, now that I've given the intro to the topic.
Given away the lead topic. Pallavi knows. Have you seen all the responses to Pallavi's tweet? Pallavi put out that list, and thereafter you should see the whole series of answers. So these are the things in Pallavi Ghosh's house, and one of the things I saw how many thousand dozens of red lipsticks. Apparently, that is also unearthed from her house. Is Pallavi? Shall I read out all the answers, all the responses to your tweet?
Clearly, you have nothing to do, sir. Really, I mean, you people just.
But you put up. But we should give Pallavi a plug for her Insta now, a podcast which she has started doing. You know,
It's not a podcast. It's a bindas kind of a reel. Okay, I'm not.
Okay, reel. Anyway, we will promote you, Pallavi. We will.
How many followers do you have, Pallavi, on Insta?
I'm ready to do
How many do you have?
I'm ready to offer free poha to someone we know. And then I can take it to Claridge's, which has a bum spa. All that.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
So listen, so he's got I'll just tell you guys the list from Kejriwal's house. Okay, he's got window curtain operator with motor and track, which is 5 to 7 lakhs, and the total amount is 4 to 5.6 crores for this motorized curtains, guys.
80
then there's an
80.
Then there are 16.
Oh my God.
80 such curtains. Can you imagine? Then there is an OLED TV Sony, which is 16 of them, 4 lakhs each, which is 64 lakhs. Bose loudspeaker with subwoofer, 4.5 lakhs. Okay. OS ADA. Oh, wait, great. Abhijit has joined us at the right time. Abhijit, we're discussing Kejriwal's interiors and all the gadgets in his house. And I'm sure you'll have something to say about it.
No.
What is this? Ram Dulhari Tokus, sister of.
But they were talking about
Anyway.
a bum spa, talking about it because they were remembering you and they were missing you. Because you remind us of a bum spa.
Keep quiet now. Enough with the bum spas. The first 5 minutes of the show have gone discussing some nonsense as usual.
What nonsense?
Recliner
You
sofa.
You think Jat history is nonsense?
What?
You think Jat history is
Jat-
nonsense?
But
They have railings and staircases and Shan
Arvind, please put this one up.
Ghoze, yeah, that's a
Sandeep,
huge
one at
amount.
a time. You can share yours.
What?
No, you just
The list?
you put you put up this Shivam Singh's tweet.
Put it up, no?
Oh, you sent something? I don't
I
have
sent
it.
it to you.
Right.
I sent it to you on your gossip
Let
auntie.
me just share it with you.
Okay.
Just got it.
No. Is this for real?
Yeah.
Of course.
No.
Sources share
Nonsense.
inventory list of Pallavi Ghosh's house.
Pallavi Ghosh house.
Lipstick red color made from red soil obtained from Mars 50 lakh INR. Banarasi silk saree, BJP green and saffron colors studded with diamond rubies 2 crore INR. High heels rocket grade material black color handcrafted 10 crore INR. Mirror studded with diamonds shows your true self antique value 50 crore INR. Lock suitcase dense black labeled with BJP logo made from real gemstones 15 crore INR, and the last one is nail polish red color obtained from the blood of aliens captured by NASA 120 crore INR.
Oh my God, this guy's creative. Who's he? Oh, Aam Aadmi Party. Oh God. Anyway, so really interesting
let's
things
get
found.
back. Let's
Yeah.
get back to the inventory. You know, the 73-liter steam oven, yeah, it is 4.5 lakhs. If you go in for the Siemens one, it's got microwave,
Yeah.
steam. It even has sous vide cooking, low temperature steam cooking. And it's 4.5 lakhs only. There is no way it can be 9 lakhs. But they've inflated the cost to 9 lakhs. In fact, the 4.5 lakh one, I bought it on discount for 3.2. Now, these guys buying in bulk, they should have got it for even less, but they've inflated it to double the amount. Okay? Microwave oven, bhai. There is not a single, not even a Miele microwave oven, which is the highest quality you can get at the moment, where the priciest one you can get is 1.2 lakhs. 3 लाख कहां से बनाइए, and then they've inflated it to 6 lakhs. अगर इन्फ्लेशन करना भी चाहते हो थोड़ा सोच समझ के करो ना. 140 cm stainless steel chimney. This one I know for a fact is about Miele made 12 lakhs. They could have adjusted that in Miele, but they didn't. They instead chose a cheaper one. Bosch Series 8 built-in coffee machine, stainless steel and black, 2.5 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs. That sounds about right. It is actually 1.2. You can get it for about 1.2, but take a full price MRP. That MRP is correct. Okay. Now, hot water generator, air to, this is a heat pump water heater. And yes, 7.5. Boss, there is no way this is 7.5 to 22 lakhs. Even the 450 liter one from A.O. Smith, I want you to go check it out, comes to 2 lakhs maximum. I don't know how you can inflate it to 2.5 lakhs. Basically, a heat pump water heater works exactly. Let me bring this up. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
A.O. Smith. A.O. Smith is the company. A.O. Smith is the most common company. A.O. Smith heat pump water heater, 450 liters. Okay. Let me show you this.
contractor है.
Abhijit
ये देखो,
contractor.
this is the one. अरे नहीं यार, I'm building my house, no, so I know the these things. Now see, I was meant to get this one, but the problem, I'll tell you where the problem with this thing comes in. Can you guys see this?
No.
Yeah, I'm
No,
just
no.
gonna add it to
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, okay. Now,
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
See, it shows the price is 2 lakhs. This is the thing. It is basically like a split AC, the same principle as a split AC. This is the 450 liter one. Right now, I wanted to
What
get
does it do?
this. Basically, it's a very efficient way of heating your garam pani.
Water.
You can have unlimited garam pani while you're taking a shower. नहीं तो फिर वो heater से ना बस 2 मिनट के लिए चलता है, उसके बाद सर्दी में you don't get hot water.
Wow.
So there's actually, so now I'll tell you what the problem in this was. When I wanted to buy it, the problem first of all was कि taking it up to the 4th floor ka roof. So you have to hire a crane which costs 1 lakh rupees a day to take it up.
My
Now
God.
remember a compressor, a split AC will work for about 7-8 years max. After 3-4 years, the efficiency will reduce, and then you have to pay another lakh to replace all of this because it has a timeout period. So instead, what I got was instant water heater, which heats up 27 liters of water. It costs about 50,000 rupees per 57,000 rupees per unit. But how did you take something 450 liters? I've shown you the listed price is 2 lakhs for 450 liters. Ye kahan se, first of all, where did you get an MRP for 7.5 lakhs? Where did it become 22 lakhs all of a sudden? This is in your face. No idiot will buy the fact that this is 22 lakhs. Ye ho hi nahi sakta.
Nee, Abhijit, this is 3 units of 7.5 lakhs each, which adds up to 22.5 lakhs.
How? I've just shown you it is 2 lakhs. If
2
you
lakhs.
buy 3, in fact, it will come down.
Yeah.
The value will come down significantly. The
So you have-
listed price is 2 lakhs. You can get it for 1.5 lakhs. My only issue was taking it up because the crane taking it up to the 3rd floor. You've seen how it is. No, it's one huge unit of 450 liters.
Yeah.
So you literally can't ye karo fight. Now, a problem in this is you can't inflate it this much. People know the cost. Yeah. Next one, superior water supply and sanitary installations, 3 crores. Kahan se 3 crores? I am having a Grundfos water RO system, whole of house RO system, so that it doesn't spoil all my appliances. Quote kitne ka mila hai? For a whole house, mind you, 4 bathrooms, full RO for the house. It's an RO plant for the entire house, plus pressure, plus a second tank for the clean water. First, it takes dirty water, ROs it, supply water, ROs it, and then puts it into a clean tank and then pressure booster where it supplies it to the rest of the house. 3 lakh का कोट है. 3 लाख को कैसे आपने 3 करोड़ कर दिया? कहां से 3 करोड़ होगा? बकवास है ये बिल्कुल. Outright theft. अभी 3 लाख को 3 करोड़ करोगे, you deserve to rot in jail. You don't even know how to corruption करो तो कम से कम सोच समझ के तो corruption करो चुतिए. पता नहीं कैसे कैसे corruption करते हो.
Language.
सब honest brush लोगों का तुमने जीना हराम कर दिया है. कम से कम dishonest brush लोग honest brushty करो. Dishonest brushty करने का क्या जरूरत है? Then LG front dryer washing machine 2.1 lakhs. I don't know how many 12 kg. I don't know. I have an LG. It's 70,000 rupees. Interior artistic and ornamental work. SS railing, staircase, covering, shower enclosure made up of brass. Okay, if it is brass, it could possibly go up to that. I don't know. I don't know the prices of brass right now.
But it's more than a crore, yeah. How can you spend so much on fittings anyway?
Look, brass is expensive. I have the staircase, so it could be if the entire staircase.
But Abhijit, the point is, who's paying for it? The issue is who's paying for it.
The taxpayers.
If you're doing it with your own money, it's okay. But if the taxpayers paying for it, how fair is that?
Absolutely. Now, see, we have this thing. Any minister or MP's house you go to, it is substandard fittings. Let's be very clear about it. Now, there is a thing to be made ki substandard fitting and ultra luxury fitting. No, there is an in-between which any daddy builder can tell you can look extremely good, extremely aesthetic without going to the top end of the spectrum. Okay. This is not it. This is opulence beyond even Rashtrapati Bhavan. Even Rashtrapati Bhavan does not have fittings like this. Okay. Then wooden doors and glass doors, operated automatic sliding sensor and remote, 70 lakhs. Possibly, looking at the size of the house, that would be it is a fair estimate. Decorative pillars, 36 lakhs. I don't know. I would never put decorative pillars. I think they're so tacky and cheap. But anyway, a window curtain operated with motor drive. 5 to 7 lakhs. Total amount for 5.6 crores. Boss, a
I
motorized
found this
curtain.
appalling.
Even now, I want you guys to go to somfy.com. Somfy, SOMFY. That is the best one that you get in India today. It is the highest quality one you get in India today. Each motor comes to 12,000 rupees. 12,000 rupees say
Yes, I was
I
just going to say.
5 to 7 lakhs for the entire house. You've made it 4 to 5.6 crores. The curtains are more expensive than your double glazed doors and windows. Double glazed doors and windows 60-70 lakhs ka kiya hai. The curtains 4 to 5.6 crores. Obscene beyond belief. OLED TV Sony 4.5 lakhs. Kitna? Yeah, there is no way in hell. 65, 77, 85 inch. 85 inch, yes, 4 lakhs, sure. 16 units of TVs. भाई इतना टीवी कौन देखता है? इतना टीवी कौन देखता है? But anyway, I mean, fine. If you want to take it up to 4 lakhs, a very, very good Sony 65 inches comes to about 2.5 lakhs. But anyway, ठीक है. I mean, I can't comment on people's watching things. Bose F1 loudspeaker with subwoofer. Bose is the worst company. You should never buy it. It's not an audiophile quality thing. It's meant for sasta Johnny come rich to the market who want to show off. मेरे घर में Bose है. It is not an audiophile quality. Certainly not.
Listen, I have those now noise cancelling headphones, Bose. They're fantastic. Okay.
Congratulations. You just proved my point.
They're
Osada,
very good. Nonsense.
Osada premium full body massage chair, remote control body. हाँ, this could be about 4 lakhs. But you get those Japanese ones. यार, उसका नाम क्या है? Japanese वाला massage chair. Osim. I think it's Korean or whatever. It is not 4 lakhs. It is 2 lakhs for a full outfitted thing. This guy has deliberately gone and bought something that will cost 4 lakhs. But फिर ठीक है. I mean, this is still a believable thing. Recliner sofa. 8 recliner sofas for 1.25 lakhs, 10 lakhs, ठीक है, believable. If you get it from those MG Road, those expensive designer stores, ये भी हम मान लेंगे, ठीक है. 80 watt freestanding luminaire illumination panel, 2.3 lakhs, totally believable. Again, it is opulence beyond even Rashtrapati Bhavan because you can get these same systems. This entire thing could have been finished off in 1 lakh. But ठीक है, जो करना था कर लिया, ठीक है. LED smart tunable these things. There is no way in hell these tunable downlights cost.
I think we should stop this now. But what are we trying to
Yeah,
prove?
yeah.
Abhijit, we know Abhijit knows everything. We are trying to say Kejriwal, everybody knows, is a whatever, quote unquote. The problem all of us also have is he always tried to prove himself holier than thou, said that he believes in simple living and plain living, high thinking and all the rest. And now all of that is unraveling. So that is, I think, the biggest message. It is not a question of trying to compare lists of Kejriwal's house with Rashtrapati Bhavan, as they are doing in this. Some people have started comparing with what you call Lok Kalyan Marg and Pallavi Ghosh's house and all. That's really not the point of comparison. Who gets what, whether the CM, Delhi CM deserves that or doesn't deserve that, that's a different debate. I think the debate is the utter and sheer hypocrisy of this guy, and at each stage, and how blatantly he has done it, brazenly done it, and still not apologetic about it. Yeah. That is, I think, the point to be really emphasized, and that I think, as an whether it's a voter or a taxpayer or anything, that is my concern. That how
and
can
the sheer hubris of it all, the sheer hubris of it all. He does it openly.
How can you take people in this way for a ride? It's like, that's what I think we have to challenge about our politicians. This not just double speak, but this, you can understand, you consider, as they say, you fool some people, but if you consider everybody a fool and you want to do it time and again, and we are foolish enough to vote them back, I think that's the point we need to debate.
But there's also the other point. Yeah. Okay, one thing about politicians. The other thing is basically how the media has been brought up. Look, he has spent tremendous amounts of money, hundreds of crores on advertising. So the media knows where this money is coming from, and as a result of which, in spite of having this information, this piece of news is not getting the traction it should. It's come out into the open now. It was known to media persons long ago. Nobody wrote about it because nobody basically wanted to rock the cart. Now it's come out. Some people are responsible for bringing it out. There are some news channels, not very prominent ones, who are talking about it. But by and large,
We
his
did.
book-
We did. We did the story.
Okay,
I did
you
the
did.
story.
You did the story. Okay. Great, yeah. You should
Yeah,
have
maybe
done
you
this
That's
should
why-
watch me more,
couple of years ago.
Professor.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
you should
couple
watch
of
me
years ago.
more.
Dipankar,
Spend more
that's the
time
fun.
watching Sandeep.
Yeah.
That's the next point you will find, that there are people in media again who are now going to, try and justify it. Say, oh,
Yes.
why are you saying this about Kejriwal? He was, after all, elected chief minister. And already people are putting out how much money has been spent in the new PM's residence and
Yes.
this and that. You'll find the whole entire debate will get deflected there.
It will.
That's what
It
I'm
will.
saying. It's not a question of, comparing what A has got, B has got. It is the duplicity, the hypocrisy of it all. And as you rightly said, why is this channel discussing it? Because we haven't got paid by
Yeah.
anybody. You think if Advaita Kala would have been invited there, she would have allowed us to discuss this?
Are we don't even have sponsors,
Absolutely.
yeah, Sandeep.
Yeah.
I'm very
Especially-
open. I'm very open to getting paid and not talking about things. Okay, just putting it out into the universe.
Yeah.
I'm
despite-
very open to both. I'm happy to get paid and talk about it. I'm happy to get paid and not talk about it also. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we are equal opportunity, culprits, but there are no takers. Advaita, that says something about also a credibility quotient. I think there is an issue there.
Also,
Okay,
just
Sandeep,
addendum.
okay.
I accept cash, and Pallavi only accepts payment in buffaloes.
Barter system. No,
No, Sandeep is horrified. He's a serious journalist.
Oh,
Editor. No. I'm so
No, what
sorry.
horrifies me, Advaita, what horrifies me is the sheer duplicity, as Sandeep Ghosh was saying. The fact that you have someone who's crafted his entire public image on being this Aam Aadmi in sandals, Reynolds pen, bush shirt, outside his trousers and all that. And
Wagoner, which I love that car, by the way.
He's now
Wagoner.
got a Baleno. He's got
Blue
a Baleno.
Wagoner.
Baleno, huh? And despite all that is one. Hathi ke daant khane ke alag, dikhane ke alag. That, as they say in Ramdulari Tokas, and his sister will agree with this. Hathi ke daant khane ke alag.
wait. Who's Ram Dulari Tokas?
Ram
Your
Dulari
sister. You've forgotten
sister.
me.
Your
You've
sister.
forgotten me. Oh my God! This is like when she abandoned us when we were children. There was this. We all lived in
Sandeep,
this.
carry on, yeah.
We lived in this. No. This is very
Sandeep,
serious.
don't interrupt. No.
Arre,
Ah,
kya?
so this is the whole thing, yeah. That double standards, and I don't think we've seen such a shocking, Janus-faced kind of duplicity, where you have someone who stands for the common man, and at home he's someone who is completely different.
but Sandeep, that is also the problem.
This is our sister
They have
Geeta Tokas.
they
This is our sister Geeta Tokas back in Haryana, and she was abandoned by Pallavi Tokas when she moved out of the house. She abandoned us, abandoned our Tokas hotel, and now she's put case on us to take back Tokas hotel. Look at poor
Right.
sweet Geeta. She was thrown out on the street. This is what Pallavi Tokas does to people. Thank you.
And Sandeep, the issue is, again, something about our psyche. When
Yeah.
people then say about Soot Boot Sarkar, it sticks.
Yes,
That's why
absolutely.
Modi gets this thing. But whereas somebody wearing this, again, Abhijit, I have to refer to him for the brand. What kind of T-shirts this gentleman wears? Burberry T-shirts, or what T-shirt he wears all over the country? He's wearing those white
Okay,
T-shirts.
now,
and people
boys.
think that-
Okay.
and it's
Let's
very
move
plain.
Let's
Yeah.
move to Canada.
Okay.
Canada.
Let's move to
Canada.
Yeah, let's talk about
Canada.
Canada, yeah. It's very
Canada with a
intriguing,
K.
yeah. I want to know
Canada
about
with a
Vikas
K.
Yadav.
Okay,
Vikas
let's start
Yadav.
with Sandeep. Unnithan, what is the Vikas Yadav story?
Oh, Vikas Yadav's story. You want to start with Vikas Yadav? Or you want to start with David Headley?
Good one. Good
Good
one.
idea.
Good
Good
one.
idea.
David Headley, right?
Let's.
Why
Yeah.
start with Vikas Yadav? Okay, who's
Yeah.
David Headley? Let's start with David Headley. David Coleman Headley, a long-time drug trafficker in the United States, U.S. national, half Pakistani, mother's American, brought up by his mother. And at some point, the Drug Enforcement Agency infiltrates him into Pakistan. He's the ideal double agent because this is 2006. This is the time when the entire apparatus of the United States, the intelligence community, is looking for Osama bin Laden, right? 9/11 has just happened 5 years before that. David Coleman Headley, and they are literally hiring, recruiting all kinds of bad apples from across the world to infiltrate Al Qaeda. They want to know where Osama bin Laden is. David Headley is one promising candidate who's an informant for the DEA. He is infiltrated into Pakistan because they believe the Lashkar-e-Taiba has a line to Al Qaeda, which they do actually. There was that Abhijit will explain more on this 313 Brigade or 333 Brigade, which is a bridge between Al Qaeda and Lashkar. Now, as Headley is involved in LET, he starts getting the contours of a major attack on Mumbai, which these guys are planning, with or without the ISI support. It's a small plan to begin with, and by and by, this plan becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And you have elements of the Pakistan Navy coming in, the ISI is of course there, and all the while, Headley is informing his handlers, possibly in the DEA or the CIA, about all of this, that they are planning to attack hotels. So if you see the pattern of alerts that keep coming to the Indian intelligence agencies in 2006 onwards, there are about 26 major alerts, right? Starting from about 2006, where they say that one hotel, they plan to hit one hotel, two hotels, and slowly these alerts build up into one pattern. And what is actually happening is Headley is informing his handlers, hey, listen, they're planning to hit a hotel. Oh, okay, fine. Let's tell the Indians. So this goes from the US intelligence community to RNAW, which then passes it on to IB, which passes it on to the Maharashtra police, all the way down there, right? And there's no action taken on this. They just, tossing them aside, because by then in 2008, there are so many attacks all across India, right? Delhi, Jaipur, Gujarat, Mumbai, everywhere. There are blasts everywhere. So they lose sight of the fact that there's something really big that's coming in. And finally, you get the last alert somewhere before the 26th, which is that there is a Lashkar-e-Taiba vessel with terrorists at so-and-so coordinates. Now, that is also given by Headley, I suspect. That is the last piece of intelligence which we completely disregard. And when the attacks unfold, with the sheer ferocity of it, they hit us like something is never, something like that had never hit us before. We had 93 serial blasts, but we didn't have gunmen walking in the streets and, mowing people down, throwing grenades, taking hostages, making ransom calls, all of that. That hits us, and then the intelligence community is in shock. And then they start going back on all these alerts, and then they discover that, my God, we were told about this entire plan. We were being drip-fed this entire 26/11 attack plan by the Americans. So obviously they knew about it, right? That's when Mike Narayanan, who was the NSA at that time, he threw a fit and he said, oh God, we've been double-crossed. The Americans knew about this. They've told us this. We would have been able to prevent these attacks, because it was actually a failure of imagination. Nobody believed that an attack of this nature could be carried out. Exactly like how 9/11 hit the United States in 2001.
October 7th.
Yeah, or October 7th hit Israel last year. So we kind of didn't anticipate an attack. This is basically, I'll tell you what it is. At its very basic, 26/11 was a naval special forces raid carried out by civilians who were trained like naval commandos. And this is told to me by the Marine commandos, our guys, who said, look, this is exactly how we planned for it. We hit a beach, multiple teams, we break up, we use the rubber boats to infiltrate covertly. We break up into teams, we attack the targets, then we disengage and we come back and we exfiltrate. This is what the Pakistan ISI did to us. And now, so the thing is that, why did the Americans not tell us? Very simply because for the Americans, Headley was an asset who was after the biggest prize of all. Where is Osama bin Laden, right? And he obviously led them on to the fact, hey, I'm contacting this guy in Al-Qaeda. I've got this this chap who's heading this 313 brigade, who's an Al-Qaeda operative. He'll tell me where Osama is and all that, right? So he said, let's not blow our source. This guy is really important to us. And when the whole thing of 26/11 exploded, that's when I think there was a lot of behind the scenes conflict between the Indian intelligence agencies and the Americans. Hey, look, you let us down. You didn't tell us the whole thing. So that's when they started revealing details of all the, they said, okay, fine, we'll give you access to David Headley in 2010. So you had this team from the NIA, which had just been set up post 26/11. You had a team of 4 IPS officers from the NIA who went and questioned David Headley. Of course, this was all, on American soil, and they had said, you can't do this, you can't say this. It was just a freewheeling kind of conversation. I wouldn't even call it an interrogation, right? So they ensured that David Headley would never be extradited to India for obvious reasons, because if he comes here, he'd start singing like a canary, oh, I know this, this Pakistani guy was there, this ISI chap was there, I was telling the Americans all of this. So I think what is now being worked out is that Tahir Rana, the guy who's Headley's accomplice, is possibly on the list of extradition, but Headley is there, he's serving a sentence for about 30 years. Now, Vikas Yadav is this strange character who
Sandeep, I just want to come in quickly, since the big prize was Osama bin Laden.
Yes.
What is the possibility that the Americans knew about 26/11 being planned and decided to keep quiet, because if Headley was successful, then he would just rise up the ranks and get closer to bin Laden?
Absolutely. That's how intelligence operations are, They will, they will not. What's your big ultimate goal? Your ultimate goal is to get Osama bin Laden, and you have to get him before the 10th anniversary of 9/11. This is already 5 years past, right? He's been hiding from the Americans very successfully. They don't know where he is. They said, okay, 26/11, it's really bad it happened, but we got to keep running Headley. Why did Headley get caught? This is the most important thing. David Headley got caught because he was not a double agent, because he was a triple agent.
Yeah.
What's a triple agent? He was supposed to be a guy working for the LET, but he's actually working for the Americans. But he's actually got his own agenda, right? Which is to kill European civilians in Denmark, right? They were to break into the newspaper that published the Prophet cartoons. They were supposed to carry out a terror attack, decapitate the cartoonists and the editorial staff, and throw their heads out onto the streets so people could watch. They wanted to do a 26/11 with that Danish newspaper, on the Danish newspaper. That's when they realized, hey, this guy's gone rogue and we got to get him out. We got to neutralize him. That's when they arrested him. That was around in 2010, if I remember correctly. Right? So,
but tell me something, Sandeep. I've seen his recon video also of Denmark for that operation. How much of this has to just do with bias? The moment it comes on the white man, then it's a problem when a terror attack gets that close. But as long as it's, brown people being killed by the hundreds, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's very clear. There is an apartheid in terror attacks. If it's a Mumbai or it's a Kenya, Westgate Mall in Kenya, who cares? They're dying all the time. But if it's Europe, then Europe's problems are the world's problems. That's what happened here.
Yeah.
God, Americans are being attacked. Paris, oh my goodness, terrorism has arrived. It's hit us. It's Europeans are dying. That's the kind of apartheid that's been, going on for so long. Nobody cares if Indians die. Kanishka is bombed. Oh, too bad. 300 people died. Yeah, majority of them were what? Asians, Indians. Yeah, people of Indian origin. No one really cares. Yeah, that's how it is. It's always been the way.
That's why Trudeau is empowered in the way he is. And those people who are responsible for Kanishka, at least that ideology, has found Canadian soil, very sort of receptive of it. Yeah, Abhijit.
See, we need to, what Sandeep described about 26/11. Let's take that back to the 1985 Kanishka bombing.
Yes.
Because there the Canadian intelligence role was much, much more insidious. They knew minute micro detail of what was being planned. They had an agent in the planning process called Surjan Singh Gill. He was extracted from that planning cell 2 days before the bombing because they didn't want him implicated in the bombing. They fixed the security in the airport so that the bomb would get through onto the plane. They then gave Surjan Singh Gill a witness protection in London, from wherefore he has disappeared. We don't know where. When the convictions had to happen, they went and deleted all the audio tapes, the wiretaps.
Yeah.
Now, understand, when we say wiretap, in this day and age, I don't know what the age profile of our viewer is, but kids think it's just, ek button dabao, delete ho gaya. No. In those days, wiretapping was done on these big spools,
Yeah.
You had to, you first had to go select them. You had to take them and put them onto one spool and one spool. Unlike, chota audio cassettes, which you could just put in and click shut. These had to be put. Excuse me. And then the deletion process itself would take about 30 to 45 minutes, going through the entire deletion of that tape. Okay. They had to do this with hundreds of tapes. And they only selected the tapes with regards to the Kanishka. Why was it that all the other tapes were preserved, but the Kanishka tapes were deleted? So let's be very clear. The Kanishka bombing wasn't Khalistani terrorists. It was a joint CSIS Canadian operation, because the Canadian intelligence service crossed the threshold from just being witnesses to active cover-up participants in what was happening. We need to understand this. And this is the amazing thing.
But what is their motivation?
Because look, it was Daddy Trudeau who started this. He wanted immigration from the Punjab, because you need to remember, immigration, when it happens from a targeted rural area or a particularly poor area, tends to get criminalized, tends to become a vote bank. This is just like Southern Italian migration to America in the late 1800s and early 1900s. It is like the Irish famine migration to America. New York had gangs, Irish gangs and Italian gangs. Because anybody coming from there, imagine you're a country bumpkin from outside Bhatinda or whatever. You can't speak English. The rules are modified to get you permanent residence, even though you don't pass an IELTS test. All of this is targeted by to a specific region of India. You come in there, you've got no choice except to go to your local Gurdwara, which has been captured by Khalistanis. They provide you your local socialization. They provide you with your local accommodation, your job, everything. You are totally dependent on the Gurdwara network for everything. Okay. And because you do not have, it's called immersion learning. When you get dropped into another country, you have to learn the language. Here, you don't have to adapt. You don't have to learn the language. It's Punjab away from Punjab. So you're kept in that isolated ghetto. There is no contact or interaction that you have to have with your neighbors or whatever. So they targeted this because they wanted a radicalized vote bank, which Jean Chrétien then took forward the second after Pierre Trudeau, because after Pierre Trudeau was Brian Mulroney, then there was Jean Chrétien, and then there's Justin Trudeau. All of these Liberal Party ministers prime ministers have consolidated, long-term consolidation of that vote bank. All right? We need to remember this very, very, very clearly.
One second. There's also the other fact. 1980s onwards, with the coming of the Reagan administration, the Cold War also intensifies. Yeah. And when it comes to the Cold War, especially after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, Reagan is playing hardball. And India, unfortunately or fortunately, does not follow the American line on Afghanistan. We condemn it, but we say, we are against all outside interference. Our criticism is less than what it should have been. That is also the time the Americans are also onto this. They also want to get a finger in the Indian trouble spot. And one of them is the Punjab, because that is the time also the Khalistan movement is basically rising towards 1984. That is the time where I think the Canadians are also given the green signal, go ahead, create problem for these characters. And you see that You see that all the time. Otherwise, the language and the reason are forwarded by the America for the Canadians to us as to why people could not be extradited. That our head of state was not the British monarch. We were not we were not a dominion like the Canadians was. This is ridiculous. You are extraditing people to the United States and you can't extradite it to us. This is something was a contrived explanation or a contrived explanation given to us by the Canadian authorities. And by the way, Trudeau was not by no means a pro-American politician, but I think on the Soviet Union, all Western politicians were one in the sense that the USSR had to be screwed on Afghanistan, and anybody who allied with the Soviets also, in a sense, had to be put on a tight spot. And that's what they did to India as well. And of course, what it has played out to, what it has metastasized into, is another matter altogether. But I think the origins and the role played by Cold War politics cannot be overlooked when you analyze what is going on in Canada.
Isn't it also Trudeau's? I mean, Sandeep and Abhijit would know this better. But isn't it Trudeau's own political compulsions, if I can use that word, which is why now he's taking the stand that he's taking? Is it? I mean, he's got an election to face. In America, there's a concern being raised about if a Kamala Harris comes in, will she roll to a different tribe? But I mean, are there political compulsions which are forcing Trudeau to take the line that he's taking?
He also dislikes India.
You see, look at what has happened in the British Columbia polls. In the British Columbia polls, it used to be NDP versus Liberals. The Liberals are wiped out. It's the NDP and the Conservative Party are running neck to neck. The opinion polls show that the combined votes or the combined support of the NDP and the Liberals are slightly less than the Conservative Party. Pierre Trudeau is in serious trouble, and that is why he's trying to attack Poilievre on all fronts. This is the Khalistan thing is not the only front. He's also trying to portray him as a Russian agent. And look at the way the Canadian media is playing along. The Chinese influence on the Liberal Party is palpable. Look, it's in your face. The Chinese had actually police stations in Canada. The Chinese government had police stations in Canada. And the Canadian media, instead of talking about that gross interference into Canadian politics, is basically, talking about India's involvement in the Nijar process, in the Nijar case, and the Russian involvement, trying to tackle Poilievre. But Poilievre is unflappable. He doesn't care, actually. And if you look at the statements of Jagmeet as well as Justin Trudeau, they are foolish, they are insincere, but I think Canada has gotten into this confirmation bias problem. That any evidence you throw, whichever side has taken a side, they will say it is proof that we are correct. And I think that's a dangerous place to get into, but Canada is there right now.
Canada is there right now and it's not turning back. And I would like to repeat what Hillary Clinton said about snakes in your backyard. I think they are running into trouble because they have one province, which is British Columbia, which is essentially, being run along these lines. And they have to decide, which way are they heading. And I don't see how they don't see the... Sandeep, you look like you want to say something.
No, go ahead, Advaita. British Columbia, I think, should be renamed, Advaita. I should call it, Khalistan.
Yes.
With a C.
Yeah.
Khalistan with a C.
Yeah.
Khalistan. It's you have so many Khalistan. You have so many Canadian Khalistanis in Canada that Canada should, cede parts of its territory and call them Khalistan. Because I don't think there are as many Khalistan supporters in India as you have in Canada. So call British Columbia.
What are the odds? But really, what are the odds that they may turn around someday and say that, we want this for our own country? Because it's lovely. British Columbia is really beautiful.
But one day, the other point to note, slightly moving away, this I find very interesting about this tandem play between the US and China. Although you say that
Yes.
there are so many geographies, whether it be it Pakistan or be it what you're seeing in Bangladesh or in the India's eastern neighborhood, in all
Myanmar.
these places, Myanmar and everywhere, these people are frenemies in those places. They kind of are very happy to operate in tandem, and everywhere, you call it Nepal, across the world. And this is where I think India gets very badly isolated
Yeah.
in most of these countries. And I don't know how the equation playing out with Russia. Therefore, I think India has very little option, willy-nilly, to get back to bed with Russia. And that's what I think they're forcing Modi's hands to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, look at
And
it.
just to mention, Prime Minister is going to Russia in a couple
Exactly.
of
48
days.
hours from
For
now,
summit
you're going to
and
have Prime Minister Modi with Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin, two of the most hated leaders in the West. And you look at the timing of this whole thing, right? These shots are fired just a week before the Prime Minister announces his decision to travel there. So it's all part of it's a script, right? It's all being scripted.
Look,
Yeah, yeah.
long
So
years
let's
ago.
move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Professor,
long
go
years
ahead.
ago,
Make it quick.
even brief. Long years ago, we were having this discussion in JNU. You had American soldiers, diplomats sitting down with JNU profs, and one of the things they said is the following: look, at a time where we have having this existential struggle versus the Soviet Union, the Chinese were with us, with the Pakistanis were with us. And that is a momentum that we cannot let go of it very easily. Added to that is the fact that the Chinese and the American economies are so deeply enmeshed. The Chinese are funding so many universities, training American diplomats in billions of dollars into American universities. They have a large proportion of the American government sitting in the laps. So to expect them to act decisively against the Chinese, which they don't need to, by the way, is, I think, foolish. So on many areas, you will see this thing playing out. A balancing game will be played from time to time to show India its position. And I think we are also playing this game pretty well. We are waiting for the Chinese and the others to overplay their hands so that the country where our influence is supposedly ended, like the Maldives, understands what the score is and then reestablish relations with us. So I don't think we need to worry about on that particular score.
Yeah.
Okay, a quick question. One of our guests wants this. Sandeep, Unnithan, Vikas Yadav, quick thing on him before we move on to Sinwar.
Yeah. Yes. So Vikas Yadav, it's complicated. I think this is going to drag on for a couple of years, and he's going to be convicted of some offense now, which he's been picked up for some kind of extortion-related thing. But this is an attempted assassination of, and what he's accused of is an attempt on Panmun's life. There's no actual attack carried out or anything like that. It's not like Vikas Yadav is a David Headley and he carried out a 2611 or something. That's absolutely not the case. He's wanted. He's wanted in this kind of a so-called plot, which America alleges that the FBI says that he was part of this plot. And at some point, there will be some kind of trade-off, I believe, that he's going to serve his sentence here from the looks of it. He is going to be, carrying up. He's going to be sentenced for his extortion-related cases for which he's been arrested. And the US might ask for, custody or interrogation or something like that. And possibly, step up with his, with demands for his extradition. This is actually going to continue. And, what Professor Sengupta was saying, this is going to be a lever that the US is going to use against us for the next couple of years, and we should be fully prepared for it. Because, let's face it, Advaita, we're getting into the big boys club now, right? You become the world's third largest economy in a couple of years, and you say, hey, I'm going to, sit this out. I'm not going to take a very clear stance on things. I'm not going to side with you against the Russians. Or the Chinese or something like that. I'm not going to play ball. So then this thing is going to pop up. Hey, listen, but we have this. So then you'll say, hey, but we've got those 31 NQ9s that we're interested in. Oh, let's talk. So that's the kind of game that we're going to see played out in the next couple of years. So,
but I don't understand all this. But I just want to ask you this question, Sandeep, Abhijit. Doesn't it work both the ways? I mean, one of the viewers has actually put up this question about Warren Anderson never being brought back. I mean, shouldn't it work both the ways? I mean, if we are really going to be the third largest, and why not? Why not?
Pallavi,
I mean, why is it that we cannot?
It's the world that we know today is created by the West. We're living in a Western world, right? We are on Western software. We are on Western.
But
platforms.
we are a huge market now, and people do want to sell our stuff. But shouldn't we then extract our pound of flesh and say, look, okay, fine, we listen to you on this.
And we are doing that.
Why should
we are doing that? Yeah, exactly. I think in the last couple of years, we have started asserting ourselves a little more forcefully as we kind of see the way the global order is shifting. It's not a unipolar world again. So we're getting all these, competing voices. And it's too early. I must say that it's too early to say, oh, it's the end of the West. The Americans are finished. The US economy is nowhere. We are going to go into a de-dollarized world. Absolutely not. Right? The United States is going to be as powerful as it is going to be for the next couple of years, if not decades.
But there has been, Sandeep, there has been a slide. And just quickly, I'll just say something, Abhijit. There has been a slide, and I'm just, anecdotal. When I lived in the US, it was post-Cold War, and there was this, kind of a real feeling of triumph. And now we are the only great superpower in the world. But in the last decade, that I've been going back on visits and things like that. I mean, from small things like the infrastructure sliding to the kind of unrest you see and the political kind of, polarities. And, you feel like this is a civilization in decline. That feeling is very potent. In India, you see quite the reverse despite all our problems, because we've seen so much transformation in the last decade as opposed to what one is seeing over there.
Yeah.
I think, 2000.
What? That's it?
Abhijit
You
was
agree
saying
with
something. No, but Abhijit was
now
saying
we go to
something,
Abhijit.
Now, I'll first address your point, Advaita. In the last 20 years, the American GDP has increased by 50% per capita. And yet you're seeing these problems, possibly because of it, you're seeing these problems, because a lot of it is debt-based GDP, right? The US economy, technically, if you cancel off US debt from the US GDP, they technically have a lower GDP than we do per capita. It actually goes into the negative. But let's leave that. I mean, that's not the way debt works. But anyway, see, there are things we need to understand with regards to both America and Canada. On one side, there is their fault. But let us focus for a minute on our fault as well. Our security agencies, first of all, created this mess by going on calling them Khalistan. Because what are these? These are organized crime cartels.
Yes.
Okay. You need to keep hammering. The moment you say Khalistani, you have conferred them with political legitimacy, because they then claim we are being politically persecuted for our beliefs. And they should have especially known that in America, for example, you will have US white militias that claim the CIA and the US government are workings of the devil against Jesus. And they need to protect America from the devil and hence from the US government. They have RPGs, they have guns, automatic weapons, machine guns, you name it, they have it. And they prepare for war against the American government. The American government does not crack down on that. Okay, you need to understand, first of all, how badly screwed up the IFS's understanding of America is, the foreign minister's understanding of America is, the PMO's understanding of America, Canada is, and especially the police's understanding of Canada is. Just because it sells here doesn't mean it sells there. So first of all, let us understand this labeling it Khalistan. These guys are do kaudi ke gundas on the streets of Bhatinda, Ludhiana, and things like that. They do not deserve the kind of political validation we've given them, calling them Khalistani terrorists, least of all major Khalistani terrorists. Number two, if you look at the dossiers we give them, we make a real right royal hash of it. Let's be very clear about this. Indian police is a third-rate police. They're a third-rate, third-world police. Even when they have evidence, they will not put it down on paper. They will put up all kinds of conjecture, this and that. Have you seen the dossiers that have been sent on Gurpatwant Pannu? I think Sandeep would have seen it. I was reading it. I was like, bhai, ye to immediately reject ho jayega. Now, how, in what mind did you think this was going to get accepted and sent? And which damn fool of a bureaucrat saw it, approved it, and sent it? See, there are certain keywords you have to tick in order to up the ante. Let me give you a simple example of the cultural relativity. In India, if you add security to anything, food security, environmental security, water security, the minister and the bureaucrats, "Arey, ye security cheez hai, nikalo idhar se, we don't want to touch it with a barge." Because security is not sexy in India. In the West, unless you add security to something, the minister will not take it seriously. Water, who gives a damn about water? Environment, who gives a damn? The moment you say environmental security, what security? Oh, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Because that is your ticket to becoming an intellectual in their circles. Okay. How do you not understand the cultural relativism angle in this and go on giving dossiers, and nobody is fixing the problem at the Indian end? You know, we can scream and shout at them as much as we want, but pehle khud ko buland kar. Have cast iron dossiers. Let me give you a simple example. What do you know? I was going through what is alleged against Umar Khalid, for example, who's been rotting in jail for 4 years. I am yet to see one thing where they've got clinching evidence on anything. Now, I know Umar Khalid isn't popular out here, sab mere ko gali dene wale. But let's be clear about it. There is nothing clinching in that against Umar Khalid. Yusuf Pathan or Irfan Pathan, sorry, I got that wrong. No. One is Shah Rukh Pathan, that's the one. I knew it was something famous. There is clinching evidence. This guy, Sharjeel Iman, his speech itself is very crystal clear that it even violates the American standard of law, even on the Indian standard of law of incitement. But the rest of it is a weak thing. When will we accept we need police reforms in this country? Because honestly, the amount of tax, मेरा कुत्ता पुलिस से बेहतर काम कर लेगा. कम से कम मेरा कुत्ता को पता है किसको काटना है, किसको नहीं काटना है. और मेरा कुत्ते का खाना पुलिस का हफ्ता वसूली, bloody corrupt, good for nothing, is much cheaper than that. कुत्ता पालो, Rottweiler पालो, it will be cheaper than keeping Delhi police or any police.
Anyway, I think we have completed one whole hour.
Okay, now
Bamshar and Topshar. Okay. Anything else, Advaita, today?
No, there was the other thing that Abhijit wanted to say. He got sidetracked on.
Thanks, Sandeep.
Oh, there she goes again. Frozen.
यार इसका कैमरा ही इतना गंदा है.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much.
Abhijit, stop complaining.
Okay, everybody.
All over. Clean your camera. Clean your camera.
Actually,
Okay.
the camera is very dirty here.
It's even worse now.
It's become even worse.
Abhijit.
Arey, hands were dirty, yaar.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, my hands are not dirty, but anyway, actually my hands are dirty. I've been counting money on Sunday.
We all have to
Okay,
go to that
so
bum spa in Claridge's.
we never got to our, I mean, I cannot believe how juvenile this gang is. I mean, Abhijit, this is just disgusting.
Oh, God.
Now, people want Sinwar right now, guys. We've already hit 1 hour. So we can't do Sinwar right now. But what we will do is we'll come back tomorrow if whoever's free. Who's free for tomorrow?
I'm free.
ठीक है.
Okay, Abhijit's free, Pallavi's free, I'm free. Sandeep will force. Unnithan. No, Unnithan, not CEO.
I think after
Sandeep.
the trauma today, Sandeep might not want to join us. He's like, "Kya content show mein main aa gaya?"
He's like a serious journalist, right? So he's got a news organization to run.
You don't
not
know
like
him
us.
then, yeah,
But,
guys.
but at the
You
end
know
of,
Sandeep.
end of it, Advaita, you must take this thing, some amount of accountability.
Yeah.
Today we should have
Yeah.
discussed 3 topics. You discuss half an
It's
hour, we
okay,
discuss
Sandeep.
Bamsha.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Today you say it's okay.
Stop behaving
because
like Justin
It's
Trudeau,
okay.
Advaita Kala. Stop
Yeah,
externalizing your
just
problems on
because-
other people.
The main thing you guys
just-
never discussed, Advaita, that the fact that all these Toto toilets are missing, yeah? The smart toilets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's taken them with him.
I don't know.
This is a
Apparently said
scandal.
at the end that they're all missing. There were
Damn.
multiple such
You know,
toilets.
I want
They're
to
all
tell
missing.
our audience, a Toto toilet, the entire setup is 8
Yeah.
lakhs per toilet. Or
Yeah.
usme bhi, the bum washer doesn't work with proper pressure.
How do you
So
know?
first, I don't know why you would, because I tested
In,
it out.
in Calcutta, whenever you say Toto, they think it's the replacement of an auto. Yeah, called here.
So essentially, we started with bums. We were going to discuss a bum, and then we're ending it this
Yeah.
way
We
as
were
well.
going to
Trudeau,
discuss
we
a
don't like
bomb,
you.
and then
Okay.
we started
We
talking
hope-
about bomb.
I heard atom bomb
As long
test.
Atom bomb.
Yeah.
as long as our viewers don't think this show was a bummer, that's why we don't.
Oh no, we've got really good
but-
viewership today. We've got crossed like over 1,700, nearly like heading towards 2,000. So we did really well today, and we will be back tomorrow with the Toka sisters,
Bye.
Sandeep, Unnithan by force.
I'm not
Since
coming
we
with
will
him
be
anymore. He's disgusting.
Since
Yeah,
we will
go,
be
go save Geeta Tokas, our sister Buffalo, who you abandoned.
Bye.
That looked
Since we will
that
be
looked like
discussing
Ganesh Fogart,
Sinwar,
actually. Yeah.
and I apologize we couldn't get to it today, but I think this was just so interesting that we never got to it. But happy Karwa Chauth again to everyone who's celebrating. I have seen Abhijit's head, so I've seen the moon as far as I'm concerned. It's nice and well shaved. So I'm going to go eat dinner now. That's my moon sighting.
Sure.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye for
Okay.
now.
Bye,
Thank
bye,
you,
bye.
everyone. Thanks.
Tata.
Bye.